Hey guys, welcome to Chasing Gains Radio, episode 20. Today we have an absolutely amazing guest in Pete Tansley from Real Movement Project. Pete's a business mentor with Real Movement, and he's going to be going into a lot of detail about everything PT business related, differences between lead generation and systems that you need for PTs in big box gyms, PTs in studios, what he would do if he could go back in time and start his business again. Everything he's basically learned, and all of the biggest issues that most PTs come to him with that he helps them move past to be able to get them to take themselves to the next level in their business. Lots of great content here for PTs, and the video actually just cuts out at one point and then comes back in because they had to move positions. However, some great content here. Be sure to listen right to the end. It's great. Chasing Gains Radio. The insatiable quest for constant progression. Chasing is the act of pursuing. Gains is the result or positive outcome. Chasing Gains Radio. Here's your host, Cody McAuliffe. Hey guys, welcome to Chasing Gains Radio. Today we've got an absolutely phenomenal guest in Pete Tansley. Pete's done basically everything within the fitness industry. He's run his own facilities. He's mentored personal trainers. He's run retreats overseas. He's basically done everything, so he has a wealth of experience, and we're really lucky to be able to have him on the show today. Welcome, Pete.
Thanks, Cody. Yes, thanks for having me. Good to be here, mate.
Awesome. Do you mind giving us a bit of background about how you got into the fitness industry and, I guess, your experience so far?
Yeah, sure. Well, if we rewind 13 years ago now, when I was 17, I was just out of school, a little bit chubby and frustrated with my own physique, with my own progress. So, like most guys that age, I wanted to get to the gym and get big and get strong and impress girls at the beach with my shirt off. So that was the initial introduction to a gym. So my first paid job, however, was answering phones and cleaning toilets on a Sunday morning. So it was at a university gym here on the Gold Coast. Really awesome setup. It was a full sports centre. So it gave me a really good idea of everything the fitness industry had, from aquarobics to tennis to squash to Les Mills style group aerobics. So it was a really cool intro. So my intro was literally scrubbing toilets, cleaning mirrors, fixing dumbbells. I was that guy in the gym.
Yeah, awesome. I guess, where did you go from there? Did you work in that gym long? And I guess, what was, your passion for being in the fitness industry? So you wanted to, started it out with yourself, but then where did your journey take you?
Yeah, sure. So I ended up staying in that place for over 5 years. So quickly after I got that job, I enrolled to study Cert 4 Fitness. So back then, this was 2002. We had to do Cert 3, which is 6 months, Cert 4, which is 6 months, and you had to do, I think, 3 months of placement to get your certificate. So I did it there at the university, and I ended up staying there for, over 5 years. I guess the cool thing about it was, once I transformed my own body and got into good shape and see how it changed my life, I wanted to share that and impart that on other people. So I became a PT, doing mostly one-on-ones out of that gym, and eventually did some management there, managed a team of probably maybe 18 or 20 staff in total at a young age. But my passionate thing was helping people one-on-one.
Yeah.
Was PT, was seeing the breakthroughs people had, was seeing, when someone loses 5 or 10 or 20 kilos, it's not about the weight loss. It's about the confidence they gain. It's about the new partners they develop. It's about the pay rise they get at work from their promotion. That was what really turned me on and got me excited.
Yeah, awesome. I guess then you moved into developing your own facility. Can you tell us a bit about that as well, and if you'd have any advice with people who are looking at starting their own facility?
Sure. Yeah, that was a cool journey. So after university, I managed a PT studio, and we grew that. I think we doubled it in the first 12 months that I came on board. The key was just having a good selling system and a really good team of trainers, good education, and keeping it really tight with the team. That was the key for there. And then, like most employees, I thought at the time I could do a better job than the owner, which we all think. Yeah. And then I went on my own. So from there, I started my own facility. And I guess, to answer your question, any advice for somebody doing that, it would be to get really clear on who you want to help.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you can be all things to all people. and would be to have your expenses covered before you open. So have your big ones, your rent, and if you're starting to lean your own wage or the other wages of employees covered before you open. And you can do that through pre-selling, foundation memberships, pre-selling, so on day one, you've got those fixed costs covered.
Yeah, cool. You touched on systems there a little bit. Can you go into a little bit more detail, I guess, about what systems PT should have?
Sure. Yeah, good question. I think this is where a lot of PTs come unstuck. Obviously, in terms of a training system, it's a highly individual thing. We can never give the same training or nutrition plan to a client. But in terms of, to steal from John Berardi and the precision nutrition system when a client first comes on board, and it's been a few years since I've followed their model exactly, but they've got something like a pre-client questionnaire. Then it's the first appointment on discussing the 5 habits and some nutritional changes, like habit changes. Then it's a food journal, and then it's a bi-weekly sort of body fat or measurement process from there. That's an example of one system that I really like that you could apply to probably 99% of your clients. So that's a system how we can systemize and deliver our coaching.
Yeah.
Of course, we can have systems around autoresponders and perhaps automated emails that go out, so we're ensuring someone over a 6 or 12-month journey is getting checked in on. I think a good system, and Gary Vee talks about this a lot, is just caring your ass off. I don't know how you can systemize that, but I think that holds that system together.
Yeah.
In terms of selling systems, marketing systems, yeah, we definitely need, I always feel if you can't say, I'm getting 3 leads per week, 5 leads per week, to scale your studio especially or a fitness center, you do need a lead generating system. If it's just you in a gym, maybe not. But if you want to scale your business to high 6 or even 7 figures, you do need a marketing system from lead gen through to conversion through to retention. You can create many systems around that for sure.
Yeah. In terms of so you've had some experience as well working in big box gyms. So you said that they don't necessarily need a lead system in those gyms. Why would you say that is?
Well, I think on that smaller scale, I mean, it still is needed, but I think on a smaller scale with less moving parts, with just yourself as a trainer, perhaps doing, 30, 40, 50 one-on-ones per week, or if you have a semi-private model, you can obviously put clients into that. It's still, I still think everything is marketing. I think the best thing in big box gyms is to be the go-to guy. Be the trainer. If there's a dumbbell that's broken, go and fix it. Get to know the new members, offer help, train with some of the regulars. Be the guy that when people in that gym think of training, they think of Cody. They think of you straight away, and they're going to ask you that question. So that itself is a system, but I guess there will be a far less greater need for paid advertising or fancy funnels, click funnels or lead pages if you're in that big box gym. I think a really good system is just walking the floor, talking to people. You can spot new members a mile away. Just go up and offer your help. Don't necessarily try to close on the first date. You can build some rapport, get to know their name, see them next Wednesday night when they come back and build rapport from there.
Yeah. Can you go into a little bit more detail about that, like the analogy of not trying to close on the first date? Because I find most trainers, they walk the floor to get new clients rather than have the focus of helping people.
For sure. I think dating is a good analogy for someone who you first meet and getting them through to the dating or the relationship process. So imagine if you see a girl in a bar. I mean, there's certain parts of Brisbane you might do this, but you see a girl in a bar and you walk up to her, you don't even know her name, and you say, hey, let's go home right now. That might work, but I think if you're looking to build a long-term relationship, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the track where this person's going to refer you lots of business, I think a better approach is to get to know this girl, make her laugh, get her number, maybe leave it there, just have a short intro and come back or follow up with a text or a call.
Yeah.
And then at the first date, second date, you're trying to, progress that relationship down the line, as opposed to trying to get her naked without even knowing her name, knowing where she lives, having any rapport whatsoever. So for a PT, I think how that relates is the first interaction might purely be, hey, I'm Pete. If you need any help, let me know. I'm the trainer here who doesn't look at myself in the mirror all day. I'll make some kind of joke, break the ice somehow. Maybe ask about his or her goals. What have you joined? What are you looking to achieve? Any injuries you've got? And maybe offer one short bit of advice.
Yeah.
I think it's we're trying to serve this person. We're not trying to pretend. We're not trying to impress them by how much we know. We're just trying to show that we care. If you have questions, come and see me. Next time you see him or her, say, hey, how's that knee injury going? I'm going to do some chest when work in with me, or whatever it might be. Just progress that relationship down the line. Actually care about them, and then when and if they're ready, they'll come to you, and that conversation can develop.
Yeah, totally agree. I guess the analogy I use to describe it is it's just like a bank account. You've got to put all of these deposits in before you can make a withdrawal from it. So it's basically just trying to develop that relationship and basically have all of these potential relationships throughout the gym to be able to, when they're ready, to be able to make that decision, to be able to get training, get help with their program, because at some point they will want it. They'll come to you over someone else. Would you agree with that?
100%, man. Yeah, most definitely. I like that bank analogy. That works really well.
Yeah, awesome. I guess in terms of like where you're at with the fitness industry at the moment, what do you spend your time doing in the fitness industry now?
Sure. So I'm working really closely with Real Movement Project. It's a great company that mentors trainers on how to A, get better results for your clients, and B, how to run a better business. I think an authentic business, it isn't, promising the world and delivering nothing. So I guess my role with that is helping these guys open a studio, grow their studio, have better systems, have more time off. You and I both know trainer burnout is a real thing, and giving so much energy away to clients and sometimes getting no financial reward from that. It's a shame that so many good trainers leave the industry because A, they're burned out, and or B, they're not making enough income to support 4 or 5 a.m. starts, long hours back in the gym. They don't see their spouse because they're working their tail off with no reward. So something I'm passionate about is giving guys and girls their freedom back, helping them go on holidays, take time off, have better systems, have trainers take the 5 a.m. sessions so they can sleep in or take their dog for a walk or have morning sex with their partner, whatever they want to do, instead of being up at 4, back at 9. So I think that's the majority of my time now is helping these guys scale, systemize, and have a better lifestyle.
Yeah, awesome. I guess, what's the biggest thing you notice when someone is coming to you for business coaching that is, I guess, the number one issue that people are having? Is it the lack of systems? Is it the lack of leads? Is it the lack of conversions? What is it? What's the number one thing that is the biggest issue to start working on when someone comes to you?
I'd say it's probably if I had to send that down to 3 top things. Number one would be a mindset issue. So they're still thinking like a PT and not the CEO or a business owner of a fitness business. And that's a really key mindset shift. I'm not saying to go from taking 50 hours of sessions a week to 0. I made that mistake early on. I systemized myself right in the business, and I missed it. I missed the hands-on coaching. I missed the rapport, the fun of sessions. I'm not saying to do that. You can still take 50 sessions a week, but the mindset changes from I'm operating as a trainer to now I'm a CEO or owner operating a PT business. That's number one, that mindset shift, which can happen pretty quickly. The other 2 things, A, getting enough leads to come in, inquiries, and B, being able to close those leads, maybe 8 or 9 out of 10 leads into premium 6-month or 12-month or even 3-month programs so we can get that client the results.
Yeah, awesome. So can you go into a little bit more detail about the importance of having longer-term programs?
Sorry, can you repeat that? Just cut out a little bit.
Yeah, can you just go into a little bit more detail about the packages that you get your mentoring clients to be able to do in terms of like longer programs as compared to just like weekly debits for no short period of time?
Yeah, I like having 3, 6, and 12-month options, which, by the way, the client's rewarded for. We can offer a cheaper discount if they stay for that length of time. I like it for a few reasons. A, we're showing the client this isn't a quick fix. This isn't a 14-day fat furnace. This isn't a 21-day drop 10 dress sizes. That might be the words we use, but in reality, we're teaching these people it's a 6, 12, 24, 36-month transformation. This is a long-term process. And there's no quick fixes. We're going to help them implement habit changes, slow changes so they're permanent. I think as well, there's nothing more frustrating than us as trainers go through a lot of effort initially with a client. We set up meal plans, we meet with them, we answer their emails and queries up front. If they're to drop out 2 weeks in, and we've spent 5 or 6 or 10 extra hours helping them, it's a bit unfair on us as well. So, A, it gets more commitment from them. B, it's better for us because we know this person's going to do this for 6 months. No matter what happens, we're going to help them through it. There's going to be some hard times. There's never a perfect 1 month or 6 months in someone's life. We're going to help them create these long-term changes. And we can be realistic about the results they're going to get. They're not going to get a six-pack in a month, like Men's Health says. It's going to take a little bit longer, but we will get there in 6 months.
Yeah. Okay, cool. In terms of, I guess, then does that work for all models? Will that work for boot camps? Will it work for small group training? Will it work for CrossFit? Will it work for one-on-one PTs?
Yeah. Look, I'm not saying everyone has to do that. I think getting them on direct debit is key. I think that's the thing. You might just say, look, if you want to cancel, it's 20 days notice or 14 days notice. Enough time to process it and have them cancel that over billing them. But I think getting people on EFT or direct debit is key one, because we're trying to build a business that we can rely on. We know a certain amount of money is coming in each week. And selling 10 packs and 20 packs, that's what we were doing in 2002. And I think it's a very outdated model. I think that continuity is much better because people are busy. They don't want to have to fork out $1,000 every month or every 10 sessions. They want to do it once, and we as trainers want to sell them once.
Yeah.
Here's what I remember from one of the first business seminars I went to. Do the work once, get paid forever.
Yeah.
And it's about creating those systems, right? So we sell to the client once, and then it's done. We don't have to bring up money again. We don't have to have that awkward conversation about, hey, Darren, you got one session left and you owe me $1,200 again. It's a sticky thing with a client who's now a friend of ours because we've developed a lot of rapport with them.
Yeah.
So do the work once, get it done on day 1 or week 1, and then it's done until they want to cancel. If they want to cancel, I'm not going to make them stay. I'm not going to force someone to come and bring bad energy, but at the same time, we're saying, hey, this is a 3 or 6 month process because that's what's going to take to get to your goals.
Yeah, totally agree. I guess in terms of going into a little bit more detail in the difference between someone who would be starting their facility and like a one-on-one PT in a big box gym. So you talked about like the importance of having better systems when it's not necessarily just all about you. Can you go into more detail about that? And I guess the importance of having lead generation systems for that?
Yeah, specifically for a studio facility. Yeah. I think, and there might be times, but especially during startup, you want to be starting at a profit or at very least breaking even, which we can soon to be a profit. And lead generation is a skill that can be learned. We can learn how to do that through online and offline. We can have, obviously, paid ads is popular at the moment through Facebook and online. We can have paid ads to an email list. We can have offline strategies. Lead boxes still work as old school as they are. Seminars still work. Position yourself through a blog still works. All that stuff will generate leads. And I think if we're not adding 60 people to our email list every week as a facility, we're probably not pushing hard enough on lead generation. I remember with the gym that I would send mostly daily emails to the fitness list, and some people would say, I've been following your emails for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and I've decided to come down today.
Yeah.
So for some people, it is that long-term game. But if you don't have a way to turn on lead generation when you need it, most people will struggle with that, especially in Australia and especially in America where there's so many centres now. We need to be a master of generating leads.
Yeah. What do you think the key factors are, I guess, in terms of developing those systems then?
Sure. I think the fastest way to do it would be to probably pay for some education on it, whether it's an online course, whether it's coaching on that, whether it's going to a seminar about this stuff. I think that's one key. But the second key is testing and measuring. So if we're not testing the money spent, the return spent, the average stay of our clients, like the average lifetime value is a really key thing to measure. So we have to, A, learn it through books or online courses, and B, test, measure, rinse, repeat. The thing with marketing is it should rarely be it should never be an expense. If we spend $100, we hope to get at least 100 back or 101 back, so it's a positive return. Some experts will say, well, you'd get 50 back because you know that they'll refer 3 people to, and that makes sense. But marketing should never be really in the expense column because it's going to give us a positive ROI.
Yeah.
But we have to test and measure each campaign to know that and to know where the leads come from, how much they cost, how long they stay for.
Yeah. In terms of doing that, do you recommend to facilities to do low barrier offers then to be able to get more people in, or?
For sure. I like low barrier offers. I like them because people are often afraid of commitment. So offering a 1 week, 2 week, 1 month program gets them in the door, and then we have a system from then to upsell them into the longer term package, obviously.
Yeah.
But that's definitely a way to get them through the door. A short term, low cost barrier to entry works. Some people are against it, but you can't lie against the stats. I've used them previously, and they work really, really well.
Yeah. So you're really big on quantification and finding out all the data behind everything. I guess like most trainers that I know don't track that. So can you, I guess, highlight the importance of getting the data and actually using it to be able to adjust, to be able to improve your results?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, guys like Dan Kennedy talk about this all the time. You have to know your numbers. And if you ask trainers what their max back squat is or their max bench press, they can tell you, but ask them their average client value, their average lifetime value, they have no idea. If we don't know these numbers, we can't manage our business. It's like having a client and we never test their body fat percentage, we never test their resting heart rate, we never test their weight or whatever metrics we use for our niche. It's like having that client which we never test them on. So the same thing with business. If you're trying to grow and if you're trying to scale, you need to know the numbers of your business. Because the goal of being in business is not to work 1 million hours a week for nothing. It's to grow your net wealth, sure is to make an impact, but the goal of business, all the stress involved, is to create revenue and is to create wealth for yourself and your family. So we have to know what these numbers are.
Yeah.
So I think a few key numbers. Your average lifetime value of a client is key. So we know how, if we know a client, our average client spends $2,000, then we can spend up to $2,000 to attain a new client.
Yeah.
Cost per sale, cost per lead, if there's staff involved with commissions, you want to know those cost per sale things if we're scaling bigger. But yeah, definitely for like a one-man band, maybe open the studio, cost per lead, click-through rate, obviously on the online stuff is different, but cost per lead, average transaction value, length of client stay, number of referrals per month or per year. That'd be some really key numbers to monitor.
Yeah, cool. You touched a fair bit on referrals. Can you go into, I guess, the importance of having referral systems for a business? Sure.
Yeah, referrals are awesome. Referrals are a fun way to do business. It's probably one of the most effective ways to get new leads. If someone brings a referral to you, they're coming from a trusted advisor, their friend, so they're already half sold. They already trust you. It's the know, like, trust factor, right? If somebody knows you, likes you, and trusts you, they're way more likely, they have to do those things to buy from you, to become a client. So referrals are awesome for that because it's like your client is already doing half the work. They're telling their neighbor that, hey, this tradie guy's awesome. You should come and train with him because he does X, Y, Z. I've got these results. It's like you have walking sales before you. In terms of systems for that, yeah, you can run some really creative competitions with this. My favorite one is where, let's say you have 20 clients. You say to them all right, guys, for every person you bring down for a trial, you're going to give them a 7-day trial, you get 1 point.
Yeah.
Or 10 points or whatever. So it doesn't, and then at the end of the time period, they go into a draw to win some kind of prize.
Yeah.
A holiday, a bike, a protein shake, whatever it is, whatever budget you have. I like it because it's an even playing field. If the real estate agent knows 1 million people and brings 50, he's obviously going to win. But if he brings 50, but little Sally brings 1, they all have 1 chance per referral.
Yeah.
And I like it that you don't have to bring me a paid client. I'll do the work. Bring me a friend. I'll show them our red carpet service. I'll show you how good we are, and then hopefully they'll sign up because they deserve it.
Yeah.
We deserve it, not because you force them to sign up and pay. So I think those campaigns work really, really well. Get people involved, get your staff involved, have a countdown, have like a deadline on it, and it can work really, really well.
Yeah, okay, cool. I guess in terms of like, you talked a fair bit about the importance of having a coach. How important is it for like a business owner to have a coach? So obviously like all fitness professionals are coaching other people in terms of fitness. So how important then is it to have either a mentor or a coach in terms of your business to be able to, I guess, take it to the next level?
Yeah, good question, man. Something I'm really passionate about. I think, we preach the importance of accountability and having someone that throws from the trees and having somebody can hold our hand who's navigated these waters before yet so many of us don't invest back in ourselves. Yeah, I think it's really, really important. There's that commitment of the wallet. Like if we know we're paying whatever for coaching, then we're far more likely to do that because there is some financial pain. But more importantly, I think the biggest thing with coaching is the person will hold you to a higher standard. Well, they'll see you as the bigger person or the better person you already think you are. And they give you that belief that you can scale your business or you can do the new journey you're going down. And often when you're stressed and pulling your hair out, they've been there before or they've coached people through this before and they can see the forest. They're not so close to it as you. They can give you some really calm wisdom, if you like, because they've been there before. I think good coaches are good mentors. They've been through your situation before. They're not telling you something they haven't done, so they've done it themselves. They've coached people themselves on it. I think it's the fastest way to get results. They'll save you mistakes. They'll save you time. They'll save you lost money, and they'll get you there much faster.
Yeah, awesome. Totally agree. I guess then, how would you recommend someone find a coach and what should they avoid?
Sure. I think to find them, look for their case studies, look who they've worked with. Have they worked with people? Have they done what you want them to do with other similar case studies? In terms of what should you avoid, I think you have to go with your gut with some coaches, some mentors. There's some studies, there's some people online at the moment who are being found out with some shocky deals and shocky things. I think trust your gut. I think you should be able to contact some past clients of theirs or current clients. And today via Facebook, that's fairly easy. You can shoot someone a message. And if you get a pretty good vibe, if you like the stuff they've been putting out, if you believe they're genuine, they're not full of shit, they can give you good advice, then for sure go with it. Set up a conversation or a consultation with them and see what they have to offer.
Yeah.
But maybe watch from a distance. Don't make decisions too soon. Check some testimonials and follow up that they're legitimate people, and trust your gut from there.
Yeah, totally agree. I've found some, I guess, interesting coaches within like the fitness industry doing like business coaching and stuff. Like even just like the most basic of systems. So like there was one where like obviously like if you like business coaches on Facebook, then lots more of them end up coming up in your feed. So I just kind of go through the process sometimes just to be able to test out, I guess, what people are doing within the fitness industry. And one of the leading, I guess, companies that does it for fitness professionals said that they were going to like do the whole send out a USB something with something on it to be able to do that as a lead magnet or whatever. And like standard thing, just got a call about it, but never got the content. So
right, interesting.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Not much trust there now, right, with that company.
Yeah, so now like even if they're like putting out good content, getting good testimonials and stuff, that trust just isn't there for, I guess, anything that they do from now on. So I guess that's probably the biggest thing for business coaches, and it's exactly the same in terms of like, I guess if you're selling personal training as well, if you say that you're going to do something, it's having that integrity of following through with that. If you're going to send through a diet plan at a certain time, following through with that, and that's just going to build up that trust within your, like even within your current clients and your potential clients as well. How important do you think that integrity is in terms of business?
I think it's everything. I think people talk now. I think, like you said, you're going to have far less trust for this person, this company, no matter what they do now. I think it's just an old school value of if you say you're going to do something, you do it and you follow up, whether it leads to a sale today or not. I think if you promise that, in this case, a USB, but whatever you promise, you have to follow up with that because you're talking about it now. You'll tell 10, 20 other people about it now who will also hear this and tell their friends. I think integrity is everything. I think even more so in the online world where, reputation can be lost in an instant. I think integrity is still key and one of the basics, one of the things that all business should be built on, really.
Yeah. I guess then, so you talked about like in this day and age about social media. How important is social media in terms of, I guess, creating your potential community or tribe or following to be able to grow your business then?
I might ruffle some feathers here where I don't know if it's as important as some people think. When I say that is, I know plenty of male and female trainers around the world who have massive audiences, yet still can't, it doesn't always equate to a good income, a good lifestyle, a good business. Some of those followings could be built if you look at Instagram, like females showing their bum every day,
Yeah.
does that mean that it's going to equate to a 6 or 7-figure business? Probably not. But I think if it's combined with a strategy that's getting followers onto an email list, here's the thing with social media. I feel you're building your house on somebody else's land.
Yeah.
If Facebook changes their rules tomorrow, or if Instagram changes their rules tomorrow, it all changes. But if we're getting that audience, which we are building strategically onto our email list, growing that as well, I think that's also a key. And I think email cops a bad rap, but in my opinion, it's probably number one in growing a business, growing an audience, learning how to write copy, emailing on a regular basis, and also using social media, but getting them off someone else's lands onto your own email list is, I think, a part of that bigger picture stuff. I know I think Gary Vee isn't a fan of email marketing, but the stats work. There's plenty of guys out there doing a huge job with growing their email list. Yeah, they might have 10,000 followers on one of their socials, but their email list has 50 or 60, and that's where they drive most of their profit and new business through.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I guess then, in terms of creating that community, that tribe, whether it's on email, in person, I guess what's something that you want to be able to do, I guess, to be able to increase that community? So you kind of said, like, it's not necessarily about the number. So the analogy there is you got to have depth and width. So you've got to have like that quality and quantity to be able to have a sustainable business. How do we develop more of the quality component of that?
Sure. I think it's about finding your voice online, and Tim Ferriss talks about this with the books he's written, I think he says his first book was like this real Princetonian voice, like he put on his Princeton University sort of voice, and then it developed, and by the third or whatever book he's up to now, he says it's now his authentic voice.
Yeah.
I think as we write and produce content, we all go through that, where we might be wearing a hat that people think we should be wearing, but eventually we find our own. So I think that voice will come. And whether it's 10 people or 10,000 people, it doesn't matter as long as we're being authentic. And I think we have to be regular with it as well. We can't put up 5 posts this week and then nothing, or 5 emails this week and then nothing. I think your community will prefer 2 a week or 3 a week consistently, as opposed to this stop-start approach with quality content.
Yeah, awesome. Totally agree. When you're talking about like writing emails before, the importance of writing copy, can you just explain like what copywriting is and why it's important?
Sure. I think it's basically telling a story. I think writing copy is the ability to tell a story, to pass on a message, and perhaps writing copy isn't your thing. People talk about doing videos and getting them transcribed, or doing text and turning it back into a video. You can recycle your content in some pretty creative ways now. But I think learning to write or writing better is a really good skill. Stephen King's book on writing well is excellent. So is The Elements of Style. 2 books that I think every fitness pro who's online should read and study. Frank Kern talks a lot about reading good fiction, like reading bestsellers, reading good patients, and how they just get the paragraphs to flow, and then copying that with our emails or with our sales pages. The good thing is it's a learnable skill. Yeah. We can learn it, we can tweak it, we can test numbers, and you can track it as we go.
Yeah. I guess then, who are your like primary influences in, I guess, where you are today then? So you talked about Dan Kennedy, Frank Kern, there's some big names in copywriting. In terms of like other mentors or business coaches, who would you recommend?
Sure. Yeah, cool, man. I've had a lot. So when I first started, I had a guy called Wes Home, he was part of the Action Coach group. He's still coaching now, but he helped me one-on-one. I was then a member of Bedros Keuilian and Craig Ballantyne's group in the US, so I traveled there several times. Was part of Travis Jones's group, which was really good on Facebook ads and just scaling and just being a boss and thinking bigger.
Yeah.
All those guys have helped me a lot, and they've got heaps to offer individually, those guys, in sort of different ways. I would recommend all those guys. I think they taught me a lot for the stage I was at. Keegan Smith has been a big one now, obviously, with Real Movement, and some guys involved with that. And all those people I would recommend. With a lot of them, I followed them for a long time, or several months, saw the content they repeatedly put out, and then finally reached out for them, mostly over Facebook or email, and began that chat.
Yeah, awesome. In terms of that, I guess, with people who are looking for taking their business to that next level, do you think it's important for people to be able to, I guess, start developing those relationships, like following those people now, or when they actually want to do it, when they're like ready to make that decision?
I think definitely follow them. I mean, you might not if you're not going to go ahead with the coach, you might not take up too much of their one-on-one time, but definitely follow the content they're putting out. See if it resonates with you. If you feel one of them are too hypey, or you don't like their approach, or that it doesn't resonate with you, then probably don't invest coaching with them. But if you feel they have similar values, if you like their approach and how they're doing their marketing, definitely follow them now for sure. And then in 3, 6, 12 months when you're ready to invest, you've got their relationship, you know how they work, and you can go from there. But at the same time, you don't want to follow someone for years and years and never actually push the button.
Yeah.
So if you like their approach, even if you're half ready for coaching, it's probably the time for coaching. So jump on in, reach out to them, and take the plunge.
Yeah, totally agree with that. I think it's the analogy I use is you're never going to be 100% ready, so you may as well just go when you're thinking about something, because most likely you're just going to make that decision, I guess, down the track anyway. So you may as well get started now and just start that process in terms of, like, as you said, vetting those people just to find out which one's going to be specific to you.
100%. Yeah, you're never 100% ready, like you said. So there's never a perfect time. And like marketing, coaching should not be an expense. It should be a very positive ROI on the money you're spending with that coach.
Yeah, definitely agree. In terms of like what you're doing with like the Real Movement project, what's some of the results and stuff that you're getting with some of the coaches that you're working with in terms of the Real Movement project?
Yeah, cool, man. Good question. And look, I've only been on board the last less than 12 months, but since its inception, Real Movement has now, I think, helped open close to 40 gyms and studios and CrossFit boxes, which is a huge number. None of those have closed down. A lot of them have already got to their second or third lease if they've outgrown it and are looking for multiple locations. Some of the, like, give us some glamour stories about guys, going from 5 or, going from a pretty good income to a really good income. Probably the biggest thing, though, is seeing, like, guys massively transform. Guys who are so scared to put a video up, so scared to put their opinion up or a nutrition fact up, are now doing daily or weekly videos. They've opened their gym, they're crushing life, they're bringing on staff. They're doing shit that they never thought was possible, 6 or even 3 months ago. That massive inside-out transformation of going from shy, timid, almost little childlike to now this guy or girl just owning their stuff and, just having no fear of what people think and putting daily content out and just crushing life. That's the biggest thing for me, is seeing these guys like Ben Greenwood, who is killing it right now. He was so scared to put up videos, and now I'm like, who is this guy? Like, he's changed his body shape. He's gotten so much stronger. He's opened his own home gym. He's added a massive amount to his direct debit purely from following this advice, being coachable. You see the whole confidence change. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, awesome. I guess where is Real Movement heading in the future then? So, like, you've said that it's currently helped open 40 gyms. Where's it going in the future, and what do you see for Real Movement project?
Yeah, man, good question. There's a lot going on. There's heaps happening with athlete development and in the S&C world, giving these guys a far better opportunity to become more educated, working with some really high-level coaches, which hopefully we can reveal soon. There's also the arm of Real Movement University, RMU. So this is our project for the world, where the average gym goer who trains at our local gym can join RMU and be mentored by us, follow our systems, follow our nutrition protocols. But what excites me is helping more business owners, helping another 40 or 50 plus guys open their own studio, change their community, employ staff, go on holidays with their family. The more facilities like that we have, it means spreading the Real Movement message, spreading the message of real food, of good lifestyle strategies. That's what excites me. So I guess there's those 3 things. Yeah, athlete development, or training the S&C guys, RMU for the general population, and mentoring these guys and girls who have their own gyms and online businesses, to change more lives.
Yeah, okay, awesome. In terms of, I guess, you mentioned like some of the results you're getting before, like Ben Greenwood and doing videos. How important do you think it is for, I guess, PTs to be able to produce that content? So a lot of people are holding themselves back, basically saying, I don't have anything important to say, or I don't necessarily know what I'm talking about. I don't have the confidence to go behind the camera. What advice would you give those people, and what's the importance of doing it?
Sure. Yeah, I think a really good thing here is just doing the work. I look back at some of my first YouTube videos; they were horrible. I was talking into an iPhone 2 or 3, whatever they were back in 09, 08. I can even link some of these for the interview if you want. They were really bad.
Yeah.
But I think there comes a tipping point where you find your voice and you feel confident doing those. And after you do, for some people it might be 10, for others it might be 50. After you do that, your natural voice will shine and the authentic you will come through. And same with writing. I hated writing at school. I avoided English class, but now I love it. I make a lot of my living off writing words, which is ironic. But I think that comes through practice, the same as when someone first squats with a barbell. They're shonky, they've got no balance, it feels like 100 kilograms. But with time, and if you do the reps, I think if trainers do the reps with the business stuff, they will, the muscles will grow and get stronger and get better.
Yeah, awesome. Totally agree. It's just like anything, it's just a skill that people have to develop over a period of time. No one's perfect at it to start off with, but the key is just starting that process. In terms of you mentioned the skill of writing, how important do you think that is, I guess, for personal trainers? So we talked a little bit about copywriting before. How important is, say, blogging or doing that copywriting?
Mate, I think it's really important. I think even if it's writing stuff online through social or writing a more official thing through a blog or through a guest post, I think that still has a massive role. And it has to be quality. You can't be writing crap or having poor grammar or poor structure, poor sentence structure. I think it's really imperative to do that. Again, you can learn it. You can upskill on it. A lot of it can be learned, one of the best things for writers is to copy other writers they enjoy. Don't copy and pass off as your own, but copying your own stuff that perhaps don't publish, copy their style. The best way to become a better writer is to read a lot and to write a lot. Is what Stephen King says in writing well. I think that's really true. But I think, if you want to have an impact and, go bigger and go international, especially go online, then writing is such a good skill to have, and you need to sharpen that sword and get really good at it. Yeah,
totally agree. I guess in terms of books that you'd recommend then for personal trainers, you mentioned a couple earlier. What books would you recommend that someone who's just starting out in the industry should read, and then someone who's been in the industry for, say, 3 years?
Ooh, good question. Okay, if you're just starting out, it would be How to Win Friends and Influence People. It would be The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. Probably Think and Grow Rich would be in there for all beginners in any industry. Those three would be definites for us, I think, in that order. I think How to Win Friends is the Bible on human relationships, on building rapport, on being genuine in relationships. I think that's key. And we chatted in some earlier questions before we lost contact about, building rapport on the gym floor. And, what this book touches on really is those skills we talked about. So that would be my top three for someone first starting out. For somebody 3 years in, let's say they did a year as a level 1 trainer in a big gym, or perhaps, working at a Vision or a Fitness First if you're in Australia. Perhaps now they're out on their own. So the books I would look at now, I'll get into Gary Vaynerchuk's stuff. I'll get into stuff by Tim Ferriss. Probably Crush It by Gary Vee. His first one is probably the most relative for, I think, a lot of trainers. What else for someone 3 years? And I'll be doing more specific courses, going through maybe some stuff by Precision Nutrition, maybe doing some more specialist courses like that. I love PN Level 1, how it touches on the art of coaching, and the second half of the program of the certification is all about, managing people, managing their motivation, intrinsic versus, different levels and how to motivate clients. I think that's key for someone a couple of years. We can probably link, some of these books down on this interview, but that would be my top three. I can't think of any of the top of my head for the guys 2 or 3 years. I guess it depends on what sort of niche they want to take after that time.
Yeah.
But I guess it's a never-ending process.
Yeah.
If you're not reading a book or two a month minimum, you're probably not learning enough and absorbing enough. So whether it's via audio, which we can do while we're doing our cardio or driving to work, or reading the written format, 10 pages a day, I think it has to be an ongoing thing.
Yeah, totally agree with that. I guess if you could go back to the start of your career in the fitness industry, what would you tell yourself to be able to, I guess, save yourself any hassle from all the lessons that you've learned?
Oh, I think early on, I was a pretty cocky 19, 20-year-old. I probably didn't listen to too many people, which maybe was a good thing when I wanted to open a business at 19. But I didn't listen because most people said it won't work, it'll fail. But at the same time, I trained a lot of really successful guys and girls who had started their own business, or, as we do with PTs, we get to meet and associate with some pretty cool people. I probably should have gone to my brain's trust more and said, hey guys, what do you think of this? What do you think of this marketing? Can you help me with this lease agreement? So I think earlier in my career, if I was more coachable, more open to people's opinions, it's easy to say that now, but it would have, cost me a lot of time, money, and mistakes.
Yeah.
I think that as well, and I probably should have taken on coaching earlier. Should have gotten, asked for a mentor, or whether it was a paid or unpaid. I think we touched on mentors before, but many of them can be unpaid. Like I just said, I trained some really successful guys, and I probably should have used them more and asked for help. I used to see asking for help as a weakness, but I think it would have accelerated, success even more.
Yeah, totally agree. I think, especially when people come into the fitness industry, the biggest thing is just their ego getting in the way of them potentially living up to their potential as a trainer. So I think that's very important.
100%, mate, yeah.
In terms of people getting in contact with you or Real Movement, what's the best way for people to get in contact with you or anyone at Real Movement?
Sure. Admin on Facebook is probably a really simple way, and Keegan is really active on there as well. I can sort of pop my emails, my other social stuff below if you're rewatching this video. But Facebook probably the easiest. Is just shoot me a message and we can go from there, and I'll add my email and stuff below for this as well. But yeah, that's probably the quickest way.
Yeah, awesome. Really appreciate your time today. It's always good to be able to talk to people who are actually working on raising the standards within the fitness industry. So it's always good to be able to get that perspective of someone as successful as yourself and be able to share that with the other people in the fitness industry. So thanks again.
No worries, man. Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Chasing Gains Radio. Be sure to use the Chasing Gains Radio hashtag on all social media. If you have any questions, queries, or comments about the podcast, use this hashtag. Thanks again for listening to Chasing Gains Radio. Be sure to share and like this podcast to help spread the Chasing Gains movement.